We had an hour for the session, but I've been requested if I can squeeze it in and kind of finish it in 50 minutes. So we'll try to do that, but very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you to my co-panelists for joining us on this panel. We have a very distinguished panel with us today. The theme for the session is excelling in the modern higher education times, preparing graduates for the 21st century workplace. And I kind of see two big elements in this topic. One is really preparing graduates for the 21st century workplace. India will have close to 100 million students graduating by 2030, eager to join the workplace. So there is a huge challenge we have putting these people in the workplace. Coupled with that, I think there is also a huge excellence challenge in the Indian higher education space. There's no question about it. In fact, today morning the QS rankings for Asia had come out, and I don't know how many of you were able to have a look. Out of the top 200 universities in Asia, India had only 9 names. Some of the top names in higher education in India do not figure in that list. Japan had 21 names, China had far bigger list. So clearly I think excellence in the higher education space is an area we need to focus on, heavily. So while we look at this topic, I think it's just interesting to focus on that what the 21st century workplace will look like. Right? So what are the demands of a 21st century workplace? And this perhaps then can then help us answer the question that what do we need to do? What will the excellence paradigm really mean? Can you change to the next slide, please, on the presentation? I was recently reading an article by Professor Ed Hess. He's a professor at University of Virginia's Darden School of Business. And he says that the conventional definition of a smart graduate has really been somebody who knows more, somebody who has good grades, somebody who makes fewer mistakes. So it's a very quantity-based definition. And he argues that by this definition, probably smart machines will beat all of us. So smart machines can learn more, they can remember more, they can also retrieve more information, they can also be fixed, they don't answer back. You can upgrade their memory, you can put a faster microprocessor. So the question really becomes that how do we remain relevant in the 21st century? And he goes on to say that how can we as human beings differentiate ourselves? So he says that a definition of a smart person in the 21st century would mean somebody who's an innovative thinker, somebody who can think critically, somebody who can listen well, somebody who's a good collaborator, and also somebody who can develop his or her own emotional and social quotient. Now the challenge is that often in our higher education space, these skills are not taught. We're not taught how to learn, we're not taught how to think in that manner, we're not taught how to collaborate, how to listen, and also how to engage emotionally with others. So I feel that the first point really being that the 21st century workplace or the 21st century university has to develop these skills in graduates. And just carrying on from there, when you map these skills to skills that are needed at the workplace, in a recent survey by the Society of Human Resource Management, these applied skills of oral communication, skills of problem solving, skills of a great work ethic, skills of critical thinking, I think these skills pretty much rank at the top when employers are asked that what is it that they are looking at in a good graduate. The 21st century workplace is also about interdisciplinary learning. I don't think it's enough today to know just economics, math, computer science, history or literature. The smartest graduate again will probably know a bit of all, and then of course be very good at what they specialize in. And I just want to quote an example here. At Ashoka University recently, we wanted to set up a center for political data analysis. And the idea of this center was really to throw up cutting-edge research and analyze elections over the last 60 years in India. And the idea was really mooted by a professor in political science. But as we started building the center, as we started thinking about how the center should be set up, we very quickly realized that data analysis would need very strong statistical skills. It will need study of advanced algorithms. So clearly the center could not have been built by the Department of Political Science alone. So at the university, this center is a collaborative effort between the Department of Political Science, the Department of Mathematics, and the Department of Computer Science. And I think professions similarly have moved that way. Whether it's a journalist, whether it's an entrepreneur, whether it's a technology person, I don't think it's enough just to know about your own domain. Professions have become far more multidisciplinary. Technology, I think, is a given. We've already moved to an era where online education is caught on fairly quickly. We've moved to a hybrid model of learning. Study in the classroom is already being supplemented a lot by study outside. We also have a generation of digital natives. This generation has pretty much grown up with technology. They're able to adapt and integrate functionality from devices, from smartphones, from laptops, MP3 players far faster than all of us can. So in that sense, I think technology is a given. How do we really move beyond it? How do we integrate technology better? I want to quote an example here from Graeber Foundation in Pittsburgh. Now, this foundation has developed a network of about 300 learning centers around the city. So today a graduate or a student who's interested in building a robo can be connected to the Carnegie Mellon University robotics lab to study robotics there. Somebody wants to play football can be connected to the local football academy. Somebody wants to learn writing can be connected to a great tutor in the neighborhood, or somebody who wants to learn coding can be put into the best place that is around that person to teach coding. I mean, the idea really being that institutions have to move beyond their own space to develop networks. These networks could be in the way of collaborations. These networks could be in way of finding the right people who are specialists in their area. These networks could be really about finding people who are passionate to contribute to education. I feel institutions today can't operate in isolation. Institutions have to leverage outside and build these networks to create learning opportunities for students. Which really brings me to the last point that I wanted to share in the context of excellence in higher education, that learning paths for individuals have become very specialized. I meet a lot of students who are 18, 19, 20-year-olds. A lot of these students are extremely special in a lot of ways. Some of them have very advanced writing skills. Some of them have very, very advanced coding skills. And some of them might not be doing well in a lot of other areas where we conventionally want them to do well. But can we pick each student and help them develop an individualized learning path, which could be different for each student? And what this means for educational institutions is really how does curriculum change? How do we change and adapt to really build a structure where different people can keep pace with their own learning requirements? So somebody might be progressing in a far more advanced manner in a particular class and not be progressing as well in another class. Can institutions deal with that challenge? Can institutions cope with that challenge? This, I feel, is also an important question before higher educational institutions today. How does their curriculum change? How does their teaching pedagogy change to take into effect this consideration? In the end, I just want to leave you with one image. There is a lot of talk of technology in the context of higher education. I do believe finally that the context of technology needs to be understood. What is the application of that technology? So these are two images here. One in the very traditional context of technology that we understand. And the second one maybe which is more relevant to a country like India. Right? The technology that will come up in our higher educational institutions, the leveraging of technology that we do, in what context does that apply? So I'm going to end on that note. We have a very distinguished panel with us today. In the context of what or how to provide excellence in higher education, I think there are multiple questions we can examine. Right from education being a lifelong process, to building capacity through cross-border education, or bringing knowledge exchange between universities and industry, bringing a culture of work-based learning, how to make a research-based innovation ecosystem, or how to build a culture for universities to be funded by businesses and not by government alone. I think these are some of the questions we want to examine today.